came here, trained. Training was interesting then because that was also an interesting time in Echo's evolution because they had acquired Command, I think a year before that, in like 2015 sometimes, but they had not yet kind of combined the companies.
The trucking industry is crazy right now, and being a broker can be stressful. Managing your invoices, billing, collecting, carrier base, and cash flow can feel like an impossible task. But I can tell you OTR Solutions has figured out the impossible. They eliminate cash flow problems for carrier payments and ensure margin funding in just 24 hours with broker invoice factoring. OTR Solutions takes care of billing and collection processes with your shippers. And with lightning quick and accurate invoicing, your customers will never need another broker to handle their freight needs. Kick back, relax, and let OTR take care of your brokerage. If you want to know more, and I hope you do, check them out at otrsolutions.com/freight-caviar or text OTRFC to 80483 to see what they can do for your business.
We've partnered with Ascend TMS, the world's most popular and top-rated transportation management system. It's the ultimate tool for all your freight needs. You could use our referral code RA-FreightCaviar ! To receive 3 months of Ascend TMS for free. It only takes 20 seconds to sign up and no credit card is required. You can click the link below to learn more.
Receive $200 off your ticket at Manifest using our link today. We are excited to once again partner with Manifest for their upcoming event, Manifest Vegas, from February 5th to 7th, 2024. Dubbed the world's largest global supply chain and logistics tech gathering, it promises a unique blend of Fortune 500 supply chain executives, fresh startups, and tech pioneers. Be among the 4,500 plus supply chain innovators, and remember, by using our exclusive link, you can save $200 off your ticket. Don't miss out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Reed Loustalot from Lost Freight, and we're gonna get into his story. We're gonna have a lot of fun, and Reed's looking for some good. Yeah, Reed's an interesting man. Let's get into this. Yeah. So let's start off with that. We've got Reed.
You guys are pumping my tires.
Yeah,
already.
just talk about your creative side, like your story, your background. Right, you were born in Massachusetts.
No,
you were born in Arizona. What's this? Where are you from, man?
I was, I was born in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay, yeah, Richmond, Virginia.
Is that where your parents are from?
No. My dad was out there building a golf course, or he was like part of a project building a golf course. They lived on like a farmhouse, like out in the.
So they you grew up in money.
Did I?
Yeah, like golf course building, like sounds like money.
We'll get into that. No. I mean, it's no. we were well off, but not for any reason other than like my dad worked hard and my mom worked hard. So yeah.
Their roots, like your bloodlines.
So I was born in Virginia, and then we moved to Phoenix. Okay. My parents met at ASU, Arizona State.
Okay, so they had originally met in Arizona.
Yeah, they met in Arizona. Okay. When I think my dad was recently graduated, my mom was a student at Arizona State. They're both from California. Okay. My dad's from Northern California. Santa Cruz, to be specific.
Nice.
My mom's from Orange County. And yeah, so my dad's in the golf business.
In the golf business?
Yeah, my whole family has been, on his side, has been in the golf business. His dad was a pro and ran the municipal course in Santa Cruz, which my uncle now runs.
Okay. You live super close to a golf course too.
Now? Yeah. Now, there's one. My condo complex has a golf course. Yeah, I like golf. So like.
Wait, your condo complex has a golf course?
Yeah.
Remember he was showing us his office and like out his windows.
Oh yeah. You've seen my
That's a beautiful view. Yeah.
Wait, so you pay when you pay your HOA fees that's.
Well, I'm renting, so it's just baked in. But it is part. The HOA goes into the condo fees.
That's so sick.
Yeah, it's a cool spot. Yeah, you guys, when you come to Scottsdale,
we'll visit you.
We'll screw around. Yeah,
in February and in April.
Cool.
Yeah, Manifest and TIA.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Okay, great. We'll get there.
Cool. So you ended up moving back to your.
I grew up in Phoenix. Phoenix and Scottsdale both. Yeah. Went through high school, then moved.
What were you like in high school, though?
Were you as funny as Ben as you are now?
Were you a creative, artsy person? Sports, golf guy?
I tried to play sports, but I got hurt a lot.
Okay.
I've had a bunch of shoulder surgeries, and I had 3 of them before I was like 18. So
I know.
yeah, so I did not have. I'm sorry to say, I did not have a storied athletic career. Much to the chagrin of the football coaches who always tried to get me to come play. I'm like, guys, sorry, my shoulder is screwed up. Like I literally can't do it, and I'm still dealing with that now. So that's anyway.
I feel like that's common for freight brokers.
yeah, it is. What was I like? I don't know. I mean, I was an okay student, but I did not try that hard. And I tended to overanalyze why I didn't try or why I couldn't force myself to try. And I like overanalyzed everything and thought about way too much.
I mean, it sounds like you're a thinker a little.
I guess. Yeah. But I was always like I never got in trouble. Like I was very like I got detention once.
Okay.
Once, and we didn't call them detentions. We called them jugs. Justice under God. That's what they called it. I went to an all boys Jesuit high school. Yeah. Brophy. Shout out Brophy Prep.
Shout out.
Yeah. Love Brophy. Yeah, I never got in trouble, but I was never that great of a student. Like I was kind of middling. Like I did well enough.
Would you lean towards like math more, or lean towards history?
I was not
more?
good at math. No, I was not good at math at all.
I think more of a creative mind, probably, right? Like
I mean, I guess I probably wouldn't have said that then. I don't even know if I'll say that now, but like probably more so that.
Yeah.
No, I was horrible at math. I was bad at math.
Okay.
It was very difficult for me to like wrap my head around it, and it took a lot of work. Work I wasn't really willing to do. Work I didn't do. Yeah. Yeah. So I know now. I mean, I think I took like pre-calc. I don't think I ever even took calculus. But I was always like, I guess why I say I didn't get in trouble because I was like I trolled a little bit. So senior year of high school, I wore these Vibram 5-finger toe shoes.
Okay.
And I got.
Oh, really? You wore those?
Dude, I was like, and I know I don't look it now, but I got obsessed with like fitness.
Okay.
And like when I was 16, I probably weighed what I do now when I was like 16.
Sure. In muscle?
Well, no, I was fat. And then, dude, but you know what's funny? Yeah, so let me say this. So I was 16, like probably 250, like as tall as I am now. And I got into this like kind of what was then like keto was not like a thing really then in like 2010, you know, like people weren't, it's not
talking
like now
about it.
Yeah. And so, but I like was in this like these fringe online, not fringe, but like fringe diet online forum type stuff, doing all this like research, like reading. And what I discovered like that if I was obsessed with something, I could like learn everything about it. And I could really, if I was into it, like I could learn everything about it. So like I got super into like anatomy, I got super into just fitness stuff, and I lost like a ton of weight and like got into like really good shape.
Nice.
And,
do you have any pictures?
I do, yeah.
We'll post that up.
I can share them with you guys. You'll be. I'm serious.
Okay.
So you're doing keto diet.
Yeah, well, I don't even know if I called it that. It was more like the paleo stuff.
Got it.
But I found what worked for me best was literally like I'm an all or nothing guy, and I've tried to deny that my entire life, and I've realized that I'm like I can't. I literally deny it at my own peril. You know what I mean? Sure. And that's just like what works for me works. I'm still trying to figure it out. But yeah, so I got super into that, but I also started a blog that was literally just for me, like to keep me on track. It was a blog spot
back in like 2020.
Blogspot
2007.
Do you still have it?
No, dude. I'll get there. So it was called. It was Reed's Weight Loss Journey. It was like the stupidest name ever. But like,
it explains it really fucking well.
Maybe we can find it on Wayback Machine.
I would. We'll look that up in a sec later. But so anyway, I would, and every day I would like post like, I weighed myself every day, and I would post it every day, and I would post the workout I would do, and then I would post like the meals I would do, And I did this for months.
That's cool.
This was for yourself. I lost probably, I don't know, I think I lost maybe like 60 or 70 pounds and got like, started throwing a bunch of muscle and we got super strong. And
As you did that, were you getting any followers or any?
Not really. I mean, you know.
Hey there, amazing listeners. If you're enjoying what you're hearing on our podcast, we need your support. It will only take a moment, but it would mean the world to us. Please make sure to hit the like button on this video, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to share with one of your friends that would enjoy our content. Your engagement helps us reach more people and bring more awesome episodes to you. Thanks a million, and thanks for being part of the podcast community.
I was on Twitter then. Like I made my Twitter in like 09, I think. So like, but I wasn't tweeting about that. Maybe I deleted all my tweets like a while ago. So like all that old stuff is gone, but who knows? Maybe I did tweet about it. But anyway, no, I mean I sent it to like my friends, but the funny part is I discovered Google AdSense or AdWords or whatever. I think it was AdSense. And so I could put
Google Ads.
I could put ads on my site, and I was like, fuck, like I'd see, go up like 1 cent. And it was just my friends and me like clicking on ads on my site. And I was like, I'm gonna get Google here. Like I'm gonna just have my boys like click my ads and I'm gonna make money. And then I can't remember exactly what happened, but you had to get to a certain threshold before they pay you. And I got close to the threshold, and then my ad account got shut down because it was like the same 3 IPs.
Imagine if you had like VPN and knowledge back then. And
dude,
like,
but okay, really the problem with that is though, because like I when I was like 2009, I had like, I think it was a YouTube channel or some kind of like Google. I did the same thing, Google AdSense. I created a website, and I there was an application where like it just like downloads and refreshes like the site, and I did that, and it doesn't work because it's the same IP address. Google just like obviously
they're not.
They're not stupid.
We're not. They're not. They're not as dumb as us at 16 or whatever. Yeah, but it's funny because to draw the thread between then and now, it's like I was like kind of interested in all the stuff I'm doing now then, and just didn't really realize it. Which is interesting.
That's interesting you say that. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
You're probably the same way. I mean, you just kind of hinted at that.
So when I was 14. There was this site called warsbb.org, and it was like a site where you could just download, get lists. Yeah, warsbb. Yeah. Just download like movies, music, all this stuff. And there was like, it was a blog post though. It was like a forum. It was a forum.
Yeah.
And so I would create every day. I would update like the best, like latest new rap songs, and like I had my own like little I don't know forum.
It was like a SoundCloud.
No, it wasn't SoundCloud. It was like via rapidshare.com, like where I put the rapidshare links. But it was funny like. What was crazy, like I created like inside the forum, I had my own like postings about the rap stuff, and like it had like 30,000 like views or something like that, where like people were commenting every day, like they were checking these new songs every day. Like I'm like, and then I stopped doing it because I don't know, I grew out of it. But like I was like, shit, like I was able to like build
an audience
with the stuff, just like collecting information, and then like providing it, in an easier form.
That's interesting.
So like it's definitely something like, and like I've heard something before where it's like, if you want to like do something, like I think Robert Greene, the author, talks about this, is like find out what you like doing as a kid when you were young. You know, like you could spend hours doing them, and like it seemed like play. It didn't seem like work. And try to like recreate that like in
your adult life.
And like try to monetize that.
Yeah.
If I had to put a percentage on how many files you'd download from Juarez that had a virus, it'd probably be like 80, 85%.
All the viruses, or that's where COVID came from.
Really?
COVID started there.
Yeah,
COVID started there.
Basically, like all the illegal songs, software, and cracked software, all this stuff.
I don't think I ever got any.
That or like LimeWire or like Utah.
LimeWire was in a different.
Were you working off an Apple laptop or just a?
Yeah, that was like the common wisdom that if you had a Mac, you couldn't get a virus. What were we talking about?
Your story
and how you
blog, right? And
I had that.
Dude,
so I had that, and that was cool. And then my ads got shut down, which sucked. But I also would write these like. I would write about like chemistry shit I was learning, like, and I took anatomy in because I was super into it. So I took anatomy in high school and got like over 100% in the class, and I fucking knew everything, everything. And I'm not like a memorizer, but I was when it was interesting to me, And so what was my Mr. White? I think was his name is. If you're listening to this, audit me on my percentage on my grade. If you saw that
Shout out Mr. White.
Yeah, Mr. White. Shout out. Yeah. I think it was his last name was White. Yeah, that sounds right. No, but so I did that. I got super into that. That was cool. I also just like as a kid was into gaming. Like not. I was, yeah. I'm not
strategy games.
No, dude. I played like I played my shit was RuneScape.
Okay.
In like 4th, 5th, 6th grade, I was like hard on RuneScape, and I would like
finances.
Dude, I was flipping whips, dude. I was like just doing all that shit, like yeah. And so I was super into RuneScape.
That taught you, like I like to talk about like me. We were just talking about this in the car about how that game kind of taught us like some foundations. Yeah, for life, for finances, for networking.
I mean, it's the same shit. It's literally like just real life, but like in a game.
Yeah,
because
and just throw it back a couple years, let's tag.
Yeah, so I loved RuneScape, and then I got into World of Warcraft in like probably 2007, something like that.
Same conversation.
And I mean, it's a very well-traveled path. I mean, I'm not unique in this sense, but like. But one thing.
But I think it connects to a lot of our audience, possibly.
For sure.
Yeah. I never played those games.
Dude,
never.
Yeah, you're weird. No, I'm just kidding.
Paul was traveling.
Wait, did you start with Classic or Burning Crusade? Oh, I think we actually said.
No, I started before Burning Crusade came out, and then when it came out, I was like, that's when I got super into it. So anyway, but this was like my parents and any reasonable parents then and still now. Are like, well, we need to limit your time doing this. Like, this is at the detriment.
Coming at the expense of school, at the expense of health.
Yeah, your grades.
I'm guessing,
dude, my grades fucking suffered. Like straight up, straight up.
Did you have siblings, by the way?
I do. I have a sister.
Younger?
Yeah, she's younger than me.
Okay, so you're the oldest one. So
I am.
You typically like the oldest one gets the most attention.
Well, dude, yes. I played RuneScape and I was obsessed with it and I wanted to play all the time. That's all I wanted to do. And
pure joy.
I loved it, and it was fun, but it was also, and then I moved into World of Warcraft. I probably started that in 7th grade. My computer was not good enough to run it. Obviously, RuneScape running the browser was pretty dialed back then.
Horde Alliance,
crazy.
Huh?
Horde Alliance.
I was in Alliance. Yeah, I only ever played Alliance. So I started playing that. I gotta convince my parents for somehow to get a new computer. So I remember going to Best Buy with my dad, and we bought this like HP off the shelf.
Okay.
And I got home, set it up, and it didn't fucking run. It was laggy as shit.
Do you remember so it came with a box? I think it had like 5 CDs.
Yeah, it took forever to install.
Put the first CD in, wait for it to install, and then one.
There was a lot of games like that.
But the CDs
fail like midway, like the
CDs were way better than downloading it though, because as soon as you started to be able to download the game, like it would take a day to download the game. So anyway, I started playing that, and then I got super into that like 7th and 8th grade. And before that, like...
So this is before the health obsession.
Fucking let me finish. God damn it.
Before
let me cook, bro.
Right?
Let me cook, huh?
Cook.
Before, oh yeah, years before this. Yeah, so 7th, 8th grade, yeah, because that was like junior year of high school. Okay. Sophomore, junior, senior. Okay, so I got super into WoW, and before that, like my grades, like did well in school without really trying. Like I got good grades, like I always did. My teachers liked me. I like asked good questions, like whatever. And then I started playing WoW, and like I couldn't, like I remember getting a C in or having like parent teacher conferences and having a C in the class at that time in the 8th grade. I remember this. And it was like a history class, which was like, I was good at history. I liked history. And my teacher's like, what is going on? Like, why do you have bad grades? And I was like, fuck. Like, it beat me up. Like, I beat myself up over this. But it was all great. Oh yeah. And not because I'm like a perfectionist, but because it was very clear to me at that point that this was taking from that. And obviously my parents, like that fed into the, like this isn't, maybe you shouldn't be doing this all the time. But anyway, I played WoW and I was good. Okay. And I was like lying about my age to join like adult guilds. Like I was like the 16-year-old.
Dude, that game
younger than that. I was, 13, 14 years old, like checking a box saying I was 18, applying to join like fucking guilds. Like with like these
30-year-old.
Exactly. And I remember one of them, like so I got, like the Burning Crusade came out, I was super like I was playing in this I could probably over no, dude, I did like all the end game shit, and I was a Retribution Paladin, which at that point was like you were like the black sheep. No.
Oh, that's
not
when they nerfed them.
No, dude. It was not a thing. Nobody did it. It was not acceptable.
It was terrible. Everyone was not
acceptable. It was not acceptable for you as this class for the uninitiated to be this. To be your role to be damage oriented.
Yeah. They would not allow you.
No, they would literally tell you.
You're not playing with us. You're not playing with us.
Yeah, no, they would tell you couldn't do this.
Okay, you were the black sheep.
And so I did that, and I like fucking
you get so excited.
No joke. I was like fuck that. Like I'm doing it, and like reverse engineer. Like I basically just did all the shit I wasn't supposed to, and it ended up working. And I ended up applying to all these like high end like serious guilt, like with all these like adults
topping off doing damage.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was great. And so, and I was skipping dinner to go fucking raid Karazhan or Black Temple or whatever. Like
that speaks to your work ethic.
I mean, I guess, but I mean to tie a bow on the gaming portion, because I'm not a gamer now. I basically did it so much. I did it so much then that like I can't do it now. I physically, there are times when I'm like, damn, I would love to play a game right now. But my brain is just like, dude, you can't even enjoy this. Like, I did it so much. Yeah. But anyway, I had something good to say. That was going to be really cool.
Can we get more into like the Lost Freight stuff? Please advise. we can make our way there.
We're getting there.
I don't know, because like for me, like the World of Warcraft, like you guys are talking, like.
But I'm gonna connect it. Let me connect it.
Super connected.
No. Let me connect it. Seriously, because I was super. I was living this like digital life, and it almost like I was so obsessed with doing it that it like sapped my ability to realize that the real world is basically like this. Like World of Warcraft, but real.
Better.
Like, and the shit you can do to like progress as a person is the same thing that you do when you progress as your character.
Sure.
And so, but I realize that now, and I realize that like the way I thought about leveling up my dude was how I should think about leveling up myself. And so like, anyway, to connect it. So going on. So I went to college. At Marquette in Milwaukee. So I moved, saw like...
What did you major in?
Philosophy.
Okay.
Oh wow. So but I went in as like a engineering something, because I was like convincing myself. I was like, dude, I was also super into anatomy and all this stuff. So I was like, maybe I want to go to medical school. Maybe I want to be a doctor. Like that sort of thing. Like a lot of kids tend to do. And then you quickly realize, oh wait, you can't just like fake your way through school not trying. Like it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
All right, I got a question. So then I took a philosophy, critical thinking. Like for me, that class was like the most transformational. Did you like?
No, dude. I was very cynical in college. I started first of all, like my wife, my wife, and I have been dating since like 8th grade. Shout out Megan.
Strong soul circuit.
Yeah, she's in my phone as strong soul circuit. For the memes. Nice. And I just haven't changed it back. So anyway, so I would know I was like a cynical son of a bitch. Like not to anybody else really, but to myself more so than anything. And I was very nihilistic. Like nothing matters. Like nothing matters. And that probably...
That was your philosophy of life?
I mean, not on purpose. I didn't want it to be, but it was. It was just like my brain was just like that.
Yeah, everyone goes through some kind of stage in life.
Yeah, and so 18, like college, I went in with like these very high hopes and stuff, but then realized, faced with now you got to actually work to do that. Like you can't just like coast.
You've got to grind.
And for better or for worse, I'm not like a book. Like I was not serious. Were
you kind of a jokester?
I was. I've always been. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I was, and I did. So I showed up. I joined crew. I rowed crew for a year, and I was really good at that. I got obsessed with that.
What's that?
Rowing.
Like,
yeah.
What'd you call it?
Crew. It's called crew.
Crew.
Crew. Yeah. And so I was still like really like into the fitness, and I was running like fucking 5.5 minute miles. Like I was like, and nice. Even crazier. Like I said, I used those toe shoes because I had they have like no support, no arch support or anything, and because I would get horrible shin splints, like, and I broke my tibia because my shin splints were so bad playing football in like the 8th grade.
There's actually a lot of information coming out on how like that's super healthy and
I know. Yeah, and I was way ahead of all that because I was in high school. I wrote an article. I wore the toe shoes. They wouldn't let me wear them. The dean was like, "You can't wear those. They're not professional." So no joke. Let's listen. So this connects to the trolling. So I wore these fresh senior year. And he was like, "You can't wear them because they're not professional." And I was like, "Okay, sick, great. Like, I'm not professional." So I literally, the rest of the year, I wore like way more than the uniform required me to wear. And every time I saw him, like I was wearing fucking penny loafers. I was like, "What's up? Like, how you doing? How you doing, Dean Higgins?" And I wrote an article in the school newspaper, like an op-ed, like calling it like oppressive for me to not be able to wear my toe shoes. And I was the dean for Halloween. Like I did everything. Like I was it was
you
like
became obsessed with it.
It was like playful, I guess. So
obsession, like kind of
it was a troll. It was fun. Yeah. It was in good fun too. He liked, we joked around. But anyway, so college, I started as engineering. Realized I wasn't cut out for it. Had to take like calculus and physics freshman year. God, my grades were so bad, man. I think I had like a 2 GPA after the first semester. Sure. No joke. And was like super like, man, I don't want to be here. Like a lot of college kids do. I was 2,000 miles from home. Like I didn't know anybody when I showed up. Like I'd never seen snow before.
Why didn't you go to
I wanted to leave and go do something. And my parents were like, you got to go somewhere, like go do, like go.
And like, because your current wife, like
she went to Arizona State.
Yeah, so you were like apart.
We were apart. Yeah, and that was we could do a whole podcast on that. But like my parents were like, you got to go. You have to leave here. Yeah. And frankly, we don't want you to go to the same school as your high school girlfriend, like because it's going to limit you. That's what they said to me, and which is totally understandable. And me as a parent now, I that makes sense because that is most people do not marry their fucking 8th grade girlfriend. You know what I mean? Most people do not do that, and so I don't blame them because they didn't know. It's a kid, and so I went to Marquette and I went there kind of like kicking and screaming in many ways, because my parents were kind of forcing me to go. And so I was just like all wrapped up in this, all wrapped up in being gone, all wrapped up in sucking at school. And then I, started, like I joined a fraternity. I joined my fraternity. So we'll get through this and then we'll get to the shit that people are actually listening, maybe want to curious about. But, I changed my major like 16 times. Like I have no fucking clue like what. So I don't even know how many majors I literally changed my major like so many times. And
what were you like besides doing the crew? Like what was college like though? Like
I joined my fraternity sophomore year, first semester sophomore year. Yeah. I was president of my pledge class. Then I shout out Delta Chi. Then I ended up being the president. Of the fraternity itself, which is
really?
But yeah.
Damn, the senior year, I'm guessing, or junior year?
It was a junior year, second semester junior year, first semester senior year. Got it. Most stressful experience of my life.
I can imagine.
Really? Straight up.
I mean, that is a lot of responsibility.
Oh my god, dude, it was like
You're in charge of like 100 something people.
Shitheads.
How many people were in your fraternity?
I think we took it from maybe 30 or 40 when we started, and we had the biggest pledge class ever. Like we had like 20 people join, and so we grew really fast. Yeah. And got into a lot of trouble and got suspended, like got into trouble. Like, of course. And I was, and I had a good relationship with the school, and they liked me, and I was a good face. And, But it was literally the most stressful. Like we had guys get fucking what's the meningitis. So we had I had to deal with potential meningitis outbreak. It was absurd, like the shit I dealt with, and it was good experience. Turns out brokering freight's pretty stressful too, so I was used to crushing stress loads.
Yeah. Was Colin your fraternity?
No. So I have kind of two friend groups. So anyway, the fraternity was a good experience, really fun. great, like Steve, who I'm staying with, was in my fraternity. He was in my pledge class.
Got it.
Yeah,
okay,
shout out Steve Schlecht. Nice. So Stove, we called him. Yeah, shout out Stove. Yeah, so we, college.
16 majors.
A bunch of majors. And then I ended up having my fourth shoulder surgery my junior year, first semester. And so I skipped one of the semesters and stayed home, because I got a more extreme surgery that was more intense. And so I was like, I still want to graduate in 4 years. Turns out I had like enough credits in philosophy to do it, and I liked philosophy. I liked the idea of it. I didn't actually like academic philosophy, which is much more like kind of semantic nonsense. Shout out philosophy. And that's cynicism talking too. Of course, there's more to it, but it's just not my thing. So I was in,
It can go down a rut. It can go sometimes down.
Oh, dude, I was much more, I think in hindsight, I was much more interested in I was really just seeking what I actually wanted to do. And I thought that talking about it in philosophy might help me, and reading all these fucking books and stuff. Smart. And then I'm just, smart depending on who you are. For some people that might work. Some people, I was more, it made me more lost than I ever was. Reading, overanalyzing, reading too much.
There's no end to it.
It's you literally can go forever, in circles. And so it was, I wouldn't change it, but I've arrived here, and I'm just starting to kind of figure things out, I guess. But anyway, so college was good, fun. My grades sucked. I think I graduated, but at the end I did pull it together, and I did well. I think I actually finished with a 3 GPA, which where I started was I could have failed out, and so I pulled it together and did pretty well. Not for I for secondary, I thought I was maybe I wanted to go to law school or something, because I had no fucking clue what I wanted to do. I never really did. And anyway, so I graduated, had great friends, great time. Fraternity was great. I loved being gone and being somewhere else, and obviously Megan, my wife, and I worked it out. We figured it out. We had some bumpy times, but we worked it out. And she ended up graduating ASU in 3 years, and so my senior year moved to Boston. Kind of on a whim, and when I graduated, I was like, "Well, what am I going to do? What should I do?" And so I just packed up, moved to Boston, and
job search.
Yeah, and I needed a job. Obviously, I needed to make money, so I hit my buddy up from the fraternity. Shout out Matt Abel, who was working at Echo here in Chicago. He's like, "Hey, we have an office. Do you want to apply?" I was like, fuck it, why not? I don't even know what this is, but I need money. So so I got a job. Mike Kennedy hired me. Shout out Mike Kennedy. What year was this? This was 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, 2016. So I started at Echo in Boston in 2016. I was super stoked to move and live in the city and take the train everywhere. I love trains. Yeah. And so we had our office downtown, and then 3 months in, literally I got hired, show up the first day, and realized that the office is being moved out to the suburbs. And I was just so I was devastated. It meant so much. Seriously, meant a lot to me to not have to have a car. I was super wrapped up in this idea of not having to have a car. And so I ended up, we ended up moving to Woburn, Mass, which is just the office moved. And so I had to buy a car. I bought a super shady Craigslist deal. I bought a car. Anyway.
So talk to us about the first days at Echo. What was the training process like?
Yeah, there's a funny story here. A very cool.
Oh, your team, yeah. So started at Echo in July, I guess 2016. Came out here for training. Was here for 3 weeks. I think 3 weeks.
Okay, so Echo does training in Chicago.
They did then. I don't know what they do now.
So that's interesting. So they put you up in a hotel or something.
Yeah, I was in the Godfrey Hotel, which is right over here.
That's a nice hotel.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was cool. It was great. I was like, "This is fucking sick." I'm this big baller. Staying in the hotel. They gave you I think they gave me cards, like gift cards, like prepaid gift cards to go buy food and stuff. So I was like, man, I'm like, my boys are like, you know, working, like Colin's like got a job at fucking Citibank, and I'm like, you know, oh dude, I'm fucking sick too, because like, you know, like the guys who actually tried in college had like, you know, were like taken, and I was like, you know, trying to figure it out. Anyway, so I came here, trained. Training was interesting then, because that was also an interesting time in Echo's evolution, because they had acquired Command, I think a year before that, in like 2015 sometimes, but they had not yet kind of combined the companies. And so Echo, and they were also working on two different systems, because Echo is like primarily focused on like LTL. That's how they started. They were like a good LTL brokerage. They did truckload too, and that's what I was doing. I was truckload carousels. But the system that they had developed, like, was kind of clunky for booking truckload freight, and we were split models, so we had carousels. You know, I was a carousels rep, and we had customer sales. And the old model, the old systems we used were not nearly like Command, who they bought was like a truckload brokerage, like Fluent. I don't even know if they did LTL. Somebody can audit me on that. But they had sick software for booking truckload.
LTL, because I actually knew the LTL guy.
Yeah, so they probably did, but they were a truckload brokerage. Primarily.
Yeah, I mean, but they offered LTL and intermodal.
They had, and I knew they had an intermodal program too. But anyway, so they had software that was like really good for booking truckload freight, and they developed it all themselves. I'd be interested. That's like probably an interesting, like the evolution of shit like that. Like it's probably would be interesting to get some of those guys on to talk about at some point.
Carol was at Echo, right?
Carol was at Echo, yeah, but early on, I don't think.
Early on,
This was before Reed.
So anyway, the point of me saying this is, I started before the final stitch, the integration.
Yeah.
And 3 months, I think it was October of 2016, was when the merge happened, and Tom here was my first carrier I ever booked a load with, which is crazy.
Percy Transportation.
First shout out Percy Transportation. Yes, it was a reefer. I mean, you ran all reefers, right? Yeah, it was a reefer load, and because
you guys have a lot of reefer freight?
We did. So Echo
was
Echo
so
Boston
untapped for me.
The Boston office for Echo was an acquisition. It was like a kind of a combo acquisition of like Open Mile and what the hell is it called? Purple Plum, I think. Sam Frenny, shout out Sam Frenny. But we were like a produce, like the reefer office.
Okay.
Sam Purple Plum, I think.
Okay,
that's
so
what it was.
You
it was
were
like
the
a
right
reefer.
guy
It was
in
like
the
a whole
right
reefer
spot.
business. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I moved a lot of reefer to start, and because that's like what our office had access to, and that's what everyone did.
Was that legit your first load?
100%. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you remember our conversation?
No. I think I want to say it was a Michigan, Hodgkins. I think it was a Ferndale, Michigan to Hodgkins, Illinois load.
That's good.
I think that's what it was.
That rings a bell in my.
Yeah. It was like a money load we always had, like good backhaul. I don't think that. Yeah, it's not. They don't. I don't think they have the account anymore, so I'm not doxing anything. This was a long time ago. So anyway, I booked him, and that was cool.
What was that like?
I mean, it was. You were the first carrier that I actually talked to. As anyone who brokers freight, like you talked to a lot of, Oscar the Grouches. Yeah, and to put it nicely. Yeah. And you were the first. You were probably the first person that was ever like easier to talk. Not the first person. Like, of course, I talked to people that didn't book them, but like, we started using GChat. Like, we started like actually working in ways that made sense. And so that was good. But then Echo and Command merged, and when that happens, they had to like, who got what customer, because there's some overlaps, who got what carrier, and so the Command rep got you, and they were like, Reed, you've been here for 3 months, sorry, like, and I was like, oh, that's fine, whatever, like it is what it is.
Yeah.
But
I wanted to like connect how we're all in this room together right now.
Yeah.
Is a month ago I sent you a video of a guy on YouTube calling me a fraud, and in that video we were it was us in Armenia, and with Tom, like back in 2 years ago, and you were like, you texted me like, yo, is that Tom like Stawinski?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's Tom Stawinski. Like, he's like, dude, he's a get out of here. Like that's
it was random as hell. And then literally that's like 5 minutes later we were like on the phone or something.
And then you mentioned that your whole idea for Lost Freight came from the fact that Tom would send out like these Google Docs, updated Google Docs with like detailed information.
Yeah, he would send a truck list.
Where is the empty at? What facility is getting offloaded
because,
at?
Because me having had worked at Coyote,
you knew how it worked.
Yeah, I knew what it was like to talk to Oscar the Grouches. Yeah. And when I went to the actual carrier side, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna make it as easy as possible for brokers to work with. And I just wanted to be purely transparent. Like I just wanted like not to have Reed feel like. Yeah, if I tell you like we're booking a load, I'm gonna tell you the whole entire truth, the entire journey, and you're just gonna feel good. Yep. If shit bounces, like I'll tell you why it bounced because this guy, and of course. And I had created a spreadsheet that me and my partner Marcin we did, and in that spreadsheet we had the driver's name, delivery time, and pretty much we had all of our drivers, very transparent, easily. And Reed was our top brokers. I would add them into it, and so they could hop into the spreadsheet, Google Drive, and they could see what that looked like. And I think like that made my operation so much easier. I would come into the office, Reed, all my brokers would hop in. They know where all of my trucks were. And they knew us. They knew our reputation. They knew we were honest. And so they boom, and like he'd send me a lane. I'd call my driver. I'm like, boom, boom. This is what Reed's paying, and like I'd ask for a couple bucks more. Boom, it's booked. And it was just so much faster, so much more efficient. I was able to scale and grow a large team. 35 independent contractors, 13 company trucks at our peak, and And what I think is awesome with Lost Freight now is that a lot of that system is built off of that, where we could be offering that to trucking companies and to brokers to help make their lives so much easier. And so like for this optimized, like my brother, he legitimately is a dispatcher, but he comes in and 70% of his fleet is booked within like the first hour, 2 hours of the day.
Relationships and reputation.
Yes.
Like, well, first of all, you gain the reputation for being good quality, on time, not lying, and then built a relationship with the brokers. And that's how you cover 70%.
How many relationships, like
the biggest thing I regret,
solid relationships did you actually have, like with carriers, like what, like an MC, like that you would rely on, like
like a broker.
It grows over time. It grows over time.
You start with
like I know, but I'm just asking.
I'm gonna read.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like friends with a lot of guys that I worked with still. You know, like I was not. So I was a decent carrier app. Like I actually, well, I mean, I was pretty good, and I came out the gate really hot. Like you do 6 months of training. Like I don't know how it is now, but you did 6 months of training, and then like a mentee. So I like shout out Erin Tresh. She was my mentor. She's cool. Taught me a lot. So anyway, I was always good at, if I found somebody who I like clicked with and they were like you, I could, and they supplied me with the info I needed to go and work with them and book their trucks, like I could work wonders. So like I had probably 6 or 7, maybe 10 carriers over my time that that I was fucking dialed with. And I like
basically just, those were the carriers that you would rely on when you were trying to book.
Oh yeah. I mean, those were the people I called every day. Those were the guys I was on GChat with. Those were the guys who were, I was texting with. Those guys I was friends with.
So it wouldn't be that many spreadsheets essentially that you would have to.
Well, most of them did. No, dude.
If let's say all
none of them did it. None of them did it. So he sticks out as somebody who did it. And then I had this carrier, Freight Dispatch Service. They started with me. Like bad. I mean, the name like makes it seem like they're a dispatch service, but they're not. They have their own MC. They started with me. When they started, they called me on like a posted load, and the first thing, anytime someone would call in a load, I would always ask them a couple questions. Obviously, I would try to sell the load, but then I'd be like, "Where are your other trucks? What do you have right now?" And if they were like at least interested in talking about these things, like what do you do, like then I'd just call them back. Like I'd start calling them, and then I'd also ask them, "Do they send a truck list? Are you on GChat?" Like anything that can make it easier for me to interface with them
100%.
would like give me, and if they responded positively, like yes, we do this or this, and it could be as simple as literally sending me an email with their trucks they have.
GChat was amazing.
Yeah, GChat revolutionized how I booked freight. Like, and so I would encourage all my carriers to use it, and most of them, dude.
Freight literally, I think, ran on
GChat.
It
totally
communication for sure.
And so yeah, I mean, but most of my carriers did not do that. But freight dispatchers out of Miami, they're a bunch of Cuban, fine Cubans. I love those guys. I'm still friends with them now. But they had like 2 trucks. They had like 2 trucks, and I think now they have like 200.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
they grew unbelievably. But they had a Google sheet that was like really dialed, and like they gave me access, and it showed all the trucks, like when they were empty, what time, what city.
Yeah.
You know, they had them color coded by trailer type, and they had a bunch of dispatchers, so I would just go between the tabs and find it, you know, type it into our system, call them, offer them loads. They were the whole, like, I think him and them were the ones who stick out, who did the best job. Everyone else I was calling, you know, they were my friends, so I called them every day and be like, hey, what's going on, David? Like, so I.
Yeah. I mean, just to add on to that, because I'm like, when I was trained as a broker, my training involved like I was told, when you call a carrier, ask them what they do, what lanes they run, what equipment do they have,
so you learn about them,
and what do they send out truck lists. And if they send a truck list, add my email.
Yeah.
Oh, and also give me your email and I'll send you my load list.
Yeah.
And so like every day, like I would get probably like maybe between like 30 and 40 truck lists a day. And you know, it'd be like a skimming thing. It's like, okay, I pop in, see where the trucks are, and if I you know the load board. If you're you kind of know where you're at, so you can connect the dots quickly.
Nice.
And if anything, just delete it, or if you see something, you offer that.
Yeah.
And then like with me setting up the load list, I'll send it out. I had like 400, 500 emails. I'll send it out, and like maybe like 2-3 loads a week got booked to the load list.
A load list was really nice, or truck list
like
for us. For us, it was so
load
optimized that like 80% of my trucks got booked like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I mean, and I guess we can start talking about like Lost Freight. I don't know how long we've been talking about. We've gone from World of Warcraft to truck.
It's been fun.
This is where I want to, the evolution and of the whole brand, and obviously your mindset. So you were at Echo. Command and Echo Merch, you weren't able to book with Tom anymore.
Yeah.
You were devastated because of that.
I was devastated. I was actually.
Tell us what happened afterwards.
Yeah. So well, after Echo, or
I mean, like
so being Tom, we merged. I lost Tom. And then I booked to Dimitri, my carrier, AGY Logistics.
Shout out AGY Logistics.
Yeah, they were out of here. But Dimitri, who was a dispatcher who I met, I can't remember how I met him, but he was at our happy hour on Thursday. I think you know him. DNM Trans now. He has his own company now.
He comes up to me and he's like, "What's up, Paul? Like we work together." I'm like, no, we didn't. Like, I don't know you. Like, we worked together. I've never met you before in my life. Like, and like he starts like telling me how like he was at Everest, but like we never met in person. Like, he was in the Evanston office. Like he got hired on like right before the pandemic, and like I'm like, damn, like okay, like
Paul remembers everything.
Yeah.
Paul remembers everyone.
I mean, I would have remembered him. And like he said he was thanking me because I posted an ad for him. I'm like, dude, I don't even remember posting an ad for him. And I'm like, but then when he said DNM Trans, I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember DNM.
Yeah. So he was a dispatcher at the time, and dude, we worked together like this. He didn't. I don't think he sent me a truck list, but like he would tell me what was going on, and I would go look. I would go pour over our entire board. I'd go find like crazy loads, like weeks out, and I'd be like, dude, here's this load, and we would work together these like, he ran all reefer too, so we did like crazy shit, like we did, and he would, I would tee him up, and he would, usually not screw it up. No, I'm just, he did a good job, and so we worked together really tightly, and I don't even know, like he probably might be able to tell you how much money, like revenue I did for him, but it was millions of dollars, and they had like, a couple, like 10 or 15 trucks, I think.
That's amazing.
So I was like their biggest customer, and I flew out here. Like, we went to Prism, like we did, the whole road. Yeah. We went to like RPM and Prism, like it was
amazing.
because I was like a good customer for them, and we had a good thing, and that was cool. So I don't know. I was at Echo for 4.5 years.
Okay. If I can add to that, like just a little bit of value potentially.
Yeah.
But you became like a really good carrier sales rep with him and with a lot of people. You became a good carrier sales rep. I was just talking to one of my boys at CH Robinson. Shout out Phil Yu, who's phenomenal. He's doing really well there, and he kept repeating. He's like, Tom, once I realized that when I work with carriers that I like first thing, do I like you? Second thing, do I trust you?
Yeah.
If I trust and like you, then like boom, that relationship starts flourishing for a carrier sales rep.
Yeah.
And for the dispatcher.
So you were 4.5 years.
Yeah, I was there for 4.5 years. And
so when did you leave and why?
I left in January 2021. So I started in Boston. I was there for until July, August 2019.
Okay.
And then I moved to Chicago to come work in the office here because I was like, I wanted to try to figure out if there was like more for me to do. Like I was interested in trying to do other things like in the company. I wanted to like kind of like learn more, but because the office in Boston was small, Mike, who is my manager, is a good friend of mine now. Like we had a great time. Like it was a super fun team, but I just wanted to like try to see what else there was.
Yeah.
And then also like all my friends from college lived in Chicago, so I was like, and I like it here a lot. I like the energy, so I was like, I'm gonna move here. And my wife really didn't want to move, so we decided she liked her job, and so we decided I was gonna come here. We weren't married at the time. We got engaged, and then I left and I moved and moved to Chicago literally like 2 months later. So that was the whole thing. So I moved here. I moved to like North and Clybourne studio, like a 400 square foot apartment, just me. And I walked to the office every day here at 600 West, Groupon building, and did that for whatever 6 or 7 months until March of 2020, and then COVID happened. And I hopped in the car with a buddy of mine. We rented a car, drove to Boston. We drove to Boston, like literally like 2 days before the whole world like shut down. We rented a car and drove, because I'm like, dude, and we don't even have to go into this, but I was like super kind of woke on COVID from like December on, just from being on Twitter, and probably to an extent that was like not healthy. And
woke on COVID. That means you were like, you knew this was
I was like,
hit,
oh dude, I was like
telling
my manager. I was like telling my managers in like January that the office was going to shut down. I was like, we're going to have to shut down the office. We're not equipped to work remote. What are we going to do? And they were like, you're fucking crazy. No joke. You were like, and I don't even blame them. I do not blame them.
Nobody could have.
Nobody
could even imagine.
I tried not to tell too many people this, but like my wife, I was like you don't understand. Like literally everything is going to stop. And she was like, okay, Reed, like that's cute. Like, and I say crazy shit to her all the time. So she's like, you know, what is real that Reed says? Like, it's hard to tell sometimes. Yeah. And so, anyway, so that happened.
The world did stop.
I know.
There was one day I remember where you just walk out. I was living in a loop. You walk outside and you would look in every intersection.
Not a single person.
Not a single person. Not a single moving car. It looked like one of those things out of the movies.
Yeah.
I didn't have that. I was in Ukraine. I mean, Ukraine shut down, but like. I mean, not really in a way. I was just kind of like,
yeah,
it's surreal.
Well, I mean, yeah. So I drove back to Boston. I brought my desktop with me, and I had my own monitors, luckily. So like, I was literally, and we lived in a small ass place. My fiance Megan at the time, my high school buddy Jesse, who's my best man at my wedding, and Caitlin, who was my fraternity brother's like ex-girlfriend. Patrick, who was my first roommate, Patrick Kelly, shout out PK. And so anyway, so we lived in a small ass apartment, 3 bed, 1 bath, 4 people. Wow. Like, and we were all working home. Actually, I don't think Caitlin was, but anyway. Wow. And no, Megan wasn't either. Yeah, what am I saying? But anyway, so I set up my desk like on some tubs, like I had a standing desk, like DIY. Anyway, so yeah, I did that.
In a tub?
No, on like storage bins.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
like in the tub.
It would, dude. It was ratchet.
Book and freight.
Yeah,
in the bathtub.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then like, I mean, I did really well at Echo. Like I was good at it. I was making really good money. You know, I was like 25, like fucking like. Yeah, send it. Like I'll spend whatever. I don't even care. Yeah. I'm not a budgeter, for better or for worse. And so But at the same time, I was like, as anyone who spends any time, brokering freight, it's like crushing, like sometimes it's just like, oh,
it's too much.
God, it's like, you got to just, it's hard. And it's hard to get a break because it really doesn't ever stop. You leave, you go on vacation. It's like you're suffering because you're going on vacation. Like it's hard so anyway, I was like interested in technology. I knew I wanted to do my own thing. Not really. I don't want to say I knew, but like I wanted to, but maybe I just didn't realize it, or maybe I thought that like I wasn't capable of doing it. I don't know. But I wanted to get into tech, and Mike, the guy who had hired me, and my manager, had left and started working at Trimble, specifically Cubics, which was a shipper TMS that Trimble had acquired like a year before that. He was like, hey, we're doing this thing here at Cubics where, Trimble owns a ton of carrier TMSs, and then they bought the shipper TMS, and they were like, let's build, let's kind of bridge the gap and try to create like a kind of an internal marketplace amongst the shippers on Cubics and the carriers using, TMW or all these pieces of software. So I was like, okay, cool, sounds good. Like, great. And
so you had a sales role though?
Yeah, it was like, it was officially, I don't even know what the hell my title was. It was a small group. It was like, we were trying to figure it out. And so I was excited about like trying to help people figure shit out. Like not like well-defined role, And so it was not a super well-defined role. My job, they would probably say it was, but I was like, I wanted to do a bunch of different things.
It was a little bit entrepreneurial.
Yeah, yeah, and I will be careful about saying anything. I don't want to speak ill of my former employer, but I learned a lot about what not to do in terms of like, and I learned a lot about backlogs and like tech backlogs, like promise of, I didn't learn much about building software because there was so much stuff that was in the pipeline that was in front of the things we needed to try to do our job. But anyway, it was a good experience. Like I had fun there. I liked working with Mike, my boss at the time, Pete, who I literally just saw yesterday. Still like we're friends. Like we help each other. So it was good. I was there from January of 2021 until March of 2022. And I got canned. I got laid off amongst, I think, with like 40 or 50 other people from Cubics. And then like a couple months later, maybe 6 months later, Trimble ended up getting rid of Cubics. Literally, like,
the entire
product. They got rid of.
They shut it down or divested it.
Well, no. I believe that they got rid of the rest of the staff except for a couple people. And they basically, and I guess I don't want to put too many asterisks on what I say, because I wasn't there, so I don't know what they did exactly, but they're moving away from it as a product.
Gotcha. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. So anyway, so I got fired in March of 2022, and I was like, I got married. Okay. I got married in, shout out Megan. Yeah, I got married it was supposed to be October 2020, but then we moved it back a year, did it October 2021. So I got married.
Where did you get married at?
Was that right? Yes. Yeah, I got married the ceremony was at my high school, in the high school chapel.
Nice.
Shout out Brophy.
That's awesome.
Which was sweet. And then, because my wife, we were both from Arizona, right? We were living in Boston, but like, yeah, so we got married there October 2021. That was after, obviously, I had started at Cubics. So then I get fired. We find out that we're having a kid. My mom doesn't like it when I say kid, so I'll say child. Find out we're having a baby. She's like, I always like, a kid is a baby goat. I'm like, okay, whatever. So we find out we're having a kid, I think in late January is when we found out, and she was 2022.
And then you got fired.
And then I got fired in March of 2020.
Like,
literally a couple months later, and I was like, and then I'm leaving out some things. We moved. So
when you got fired, did you receive like any like payout? Like,
there was a small severance. It was small. Yeah, it was small. But so I got we got married, spent a couple months during the winter in Arizona after we got married, because it's nicer there in the winter. Found out we were having a kid.
Yeah.
Decided we were going to move from Boston to Phoenix. I got fired. Then a month later, we flew back to Boston, packed all our shit up, drove to Scottsdale.
Whoa, that's a drive.
Yeah, it was a drive. My dad flew out, helped us. My wife obviously couldn't really do too much because she was, not like starting to be more pregnant. Funny how that works. So we drove, we moved. And so anyway, I was now in Scottsdale. I got fired. That's cool.
What were the emotions? What were you like?
Dude, I was honestly kind of like, no, I wasn't worried. I should have been.
I'm Reed, baby.
Yeah, well, I mean, not even that, dude. I was literally like, I just kind of knew somehow I'd figure it out, I guess.
You felt it.
I did. I did not know what I was going to do.
You weren't doing Lost Freight yet.
No. So my buddy Rob Liss, shout out Rob Liss, who has graciously hooked us up with this space. Shout out Mac Logistics. We're in a WeWork. Rob's upstairs. So Rob and I worked at Echo together. I found out he went to my high school, but 4 years before me, because I was doing a load for him. He was a customer rep. And I think he called me or I called him, and we had the same area code. He was like, "What, are you from Arizona?" I was like, "Yeah." "Oh, where'd you go to high school?" "Oh yeah, they're like so." And then we were friends. That was in like 2017 or something like that. So that's another random story. So we were friends. We'd been friends for years, and he had moved on from Echo. He's now running like sales operations from Echo, which is an agent of Armstrong Transport. He's like, "Hey, like, why don't you come, 1099 freight agent sales here, figure it out." And so I flew out here in May of 2022, end of May, in the office here, literally in this WeWork. Yeah. It was not the same office that we're in now, but a small one in this building. And he was like, "Hey, like I taught myself how to code a little bit. And years ago, when I lived here in Chicago, I spent like $5,000 on a MacBook Pro because I was like, dude, like, and that was me. Like, I really, first of all, I wanted it, like, and it was cool, and
That's a fully beefed.
Oh yeah, dude. I just was like, fuck it. Like, I'm just gonna, and I was making good cash, so like it wasn't a big deal. And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna I literally walked in. I was like, give me the most expensive MacBook Pro you have. Like, I said that to them, and bought that.
Is that it?
No. It was the Touch Bar 15-inch bullshit. The worst keyboard ever. Oh my god,
man, you had great luck.
Oh, and 6 months into having it, I spilled water all over it, and none of the ports worked, and it was, dude. Anyway, so I bought.
You didn't get AppleCare, did you?
No, of course not. That makes, because why would you for the most expensive computer you can buy? I bought it because I wanted to learn how to code. Which is, you don't need to buy a $5,000 computer to fucking learn how to code. You just do not. Yeah. So if you're listening to this, you do not need to do that. But I just wanted it. So anyway, I started writing like HTML and CSS and all that stuff. The first website I ever made, because I wanted to like do web development. I didn't know that, but like I kind of wanted to. Tying back to my blog back in the day, I liked the web. I was interested in the web. I started, writing HTML, CSS. I had no formal training. I watched like YouTube videos, like I did like loosely like Code Academy, stuff like that to learn the basics.
On the internet.
Yeah, you don't need to pay anybody to learn how to do this. Sorry, computer science departments. My first website I ever made, which was on the train to Milwaukee from here with my buddies. I had my computer out. It was called readislost.com. And it's still up there right now, and it's like vanilla looking because it's literally like I didn't use a UI library or anything. It was just like pure HTML, CSS, a little bit of JavaScript. I started to teach myself JavaScript, but I had like no actual like foundational understanding of like the web stack, like how it all actually works. Yeah. And so I basically went about it all the wrong ways to like learn, and I had very like kind of compartmentalized understanding of how it worked. But anyway, so I had been teaching myself how to do that. And I was here with Rob, and he was like, "Hey, like I need you know how to write code? like I need this like very rudimentary tracking portal to go and try to land a customer. And I was like, okay, like, he's like, can you build that? And that was May of 2022 here. And I was staying with him. And I was like, probably, yeah. And I have no idea what I'm doing. So I said, yeah. And I was like, you know, that day, literally the next day we were in the office, I was supposed to be calling customers to try to get freight to make money so I could like make sure my pregnant wife and I had money, like, but I was not interested in calling customers to book freight at all, like not interested at all. Like I had no interest in doing it, and I wasn't very good at it either. I'm not really a cold caller. Nobody.
I feel like you could be good at it if you were like.
If I really wanted to be, I probably could be, but I have no interest in that at all.
Sure. I actually think you'd be amazing at it.
I'm good once it's warm. Like if it's a warm lead, like I can call somebody. Will be great.
Like you're a lot better from taking a cold lead to warm lead than most people.
Maybe that's true. I won't nitpick that. So anyway, yeah. So I said, yeah, like let me help. I had the next day. I literally spent all day instead of calling customers, like. I learned how to do like React and all that stuff, and all from crypto because I was super into crypto.
Nice.
Lost a ton of money, but I was most interested in it because it was like everything was open source, and so you could just like fork shit and you know start like build web apps, and everything was it was cool. So I just got my hands on it. That's how I learned basically, and learned and. So I was like, yeah, great. Like I spent the whole next day like building like, here's what a load would look like on a system, and like it was fun. It was really fun to like develop and build a product. And I did. Yeah,
and it works.
Well, so dude. So I said yes to Rob. I was like, let me do it, and I don't think him or I realized, like, I'd never built a product before.
Yeah.
I'd never started a company before. I'd never done anything, but I was stoked. I was like, like, this is dope. Like, I'm going to build this. I'm going to start this company. I'm going to call it Lost Freight because my Reed is Lost was like a moniker that I used, and it was the name of my first website. So I took the Lost, and my last name is Loustalot.
Yeah.
And so that's where Lost Freight comes from. And the FR8 is because the domain was cheaper than freight spelled properly. But nobody should have a number in their fucking URL.
Nobody should.
No,
I think to your to everything that you're like creating that presence.
You go against the norm, you know.
It's actually like unique. Yeah. It's a unique way to remember it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I prefer Lost Freight with the number 8 than actually having
spelling it out because it's more generic and it blends.
Well, dude, basically everybody has told me it's a horrible. Well, no, people don't want to say it anymore, but like when I started it like a year ago in June, when I started it and I named it, like my wife was like, why the fuck would you, like, that makes no sense. Who wants their freight to be lost? And I'm like, dude, who gives a shit? Like, that's not what I'm doing, clearly. And they're like, well, people are going to be confused. I'm like, I don't care. Like, if they're confused, then figure it out. Like, you know, not normal things people say when you like are, you know, if you look up the, you know, product marketing textbook, like don't name your company the opposite of what you're trying to do. Like, there's no irony in this stuff. So
maybe you figured something out that everybody else doesn't.
Whatever. I mean, that's the jury's out. You know, like there's a lot left to be done. But anyway, so I started that. I was like, I was all hyped. I still had no idea how to build a product. I still had no real clue how to actually build something that people used, you know, like, because it's fine when you're, you know, on localhost running something you made, and you press a button a million times and it works, but as soon as you put it online and somebody else presses it, the whole fucking thing breaks. Like, that's literally how it works. Yeah, it's how it works. And so, and I had no idea. I had no formal experience doing this. None. And so but I built, like, dude, I had a sweet system. Like, I had the whole auth set up. I started by using like Express and all that stuff, and I still didn't really understand like the difference between client and server code. Sure. Like, I did not understand that distinction. So all my data fetching was clients. It was fucked up. Like,
look, as long as you make it work, right? I mean,
it works.
At the end of the day, the hardest part for a lot of people, when they get into any type of software development, is not having a project that they can work. They have no idea how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
But like, for example, you
Dude,
Rob gives you this
Yep.
project, and you're like, fuck yeah, sign me up. And you're going to plow through it. And it doesn't really matter how you actually end up making it.
It doesn't.
If it works, it works. You'll figure out how to.
Yeah. So I built a bunch of. The other thing is, like I said, when I say I had no idea how to build a product, like building a product is it's building something that is simple and works and solves a problem, like, which is what you're probably trying to do, or you should be trying to do when you build a product, is like way easier said than done. And it's super easy to get like distracted building a bunch of shit that doesn't move the needle, that's like a waste of time, or is flashy and like sounds cool, but like is actually stupid. And so I spent a bunch of time doing shit that I didn't need to do. Which is a mistake I feel like a lot of people make when they like are naive and start building shit.
For that app for Rob?
Yeah, correct. Okay, yeah. So I built a bunch of really, like, I was so proud of it, and I came up with the dude, my first logo was so absurd. Like, it was even more absurd than Pallets on Fire. It made no sense though. I'll find it one time, maybe I'll post it on Twitter. But anyway,
did you design that logo yourself?
I knew what I wanted it to be. Yeah. I knew I wanted pallets on. I could go back and find the Fiverr, because I had somebody on Fiverr made it. I said I want pallets on fire. There's probably like a Fiverr message where I like, here's my work order. And so anyway, so I started the company and incorporated, built the product, signed Rob as a customer, signed Mac as a customer, and then we like kind of started to use it, and I won't even get too much into that, but like I realized, and I tried to call some other brokers to sell it, and I didn't really even know how to explain what it was. And
what was it?
It was so basically like, if you're a customer of mine, I'm a broker, you have a bunch of customers that are buying, widgets from you, right? And it's all LTL, right? So all your customers are getting LTL sent to them, right? And I should be able to offer, I can offer you a tracking portal so you can see all the LTL orders, but you don't want all your customers to see all the other LTL orders. Sure. And it's authed, right? So you need to log into my system to do it, but you want to be able to send a link to all your customers that doesn't require permission, kind of like a USPS tracking, where if you have the tracking number, it'll return, you don't need to be logged in. Right. And so it was basically that for LTL for a specific customer of theirs. Nice. And so it was like, I can send you a link and it'll have the shipment details, the day it's arriving, the day it picked up, statuses. And so literally he could do an export from their system with all the shipment information and in a CSV and just dump it into my system with like the CSV upload. And it was sweet. It was slick, and it would build all the loads that then had their own link that they could send to whoever with the tracking code. It was cool. It was really cool.
This all by yourself?
Yeah. I built it all. Yeah.
Impressive.
But
so you're a coder.
I guess. I mean, I know enough to blow my fucking head off with code. Yeah, like I know enough how to. No, but I mean, that's like I know how to break things.
That's impressive that you've been able to do that though.
It was cool. I mean, it was. I spent just a dumb amount of time doing it. Like, it was not efficient, but I did learn.
It goes back to obsession kind of mind that you have. Yeah. You get obsessed with something.
It was fun, dude. I had a lot of fun, like doing the design. Like, I probably broke all the design rules. Like, in terms.
Didn't we all?
Yeah, but like I was proud of it. It looked cool. Like awesome. I probably have it running somewhere.
So how long that was Lost Freight original?
That was literally a year and a couple months ago.
Okay, so that was original Lost Freight, and you were calling brokers.
Yeah, I called not. I didn't try too hard.
Yeah.
But I called a couple people and was just like, hey, you want this, tracking portal that doesn't actually have any live updates, but it's just like picked up, delivered, whatever, like the very basic statuses, and nobody really was interested, and I didn't try too hard.
Yeah.
But I also was like kind of starting to think like, what else could I do? And my now Lost Freight partner Jake Giganti, shout out Jake, who I believe is having a kid today, maybe. I haven't heard from him, so hopefully that means he's now a dad. Yeah, shout out Jake, shout out Cynthia. I met him on Twitter talking about crypto, like it's 8 months before that, and golf. Talking about crypto and golf, On Twitter. Shout out Twitter. Or X. Excuse me. God. Sorry, Elon.
X, formerly Twitter.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I was writing
Formerly known as
articles.
Twitter.
Formerly known as Twitter.
So I met him, and he was discovered that he was this software engineer. And so I was fucking around with projects. I was like doing stuff, and I would always just hit him up and be like, hey, like my shit's broken. Everything's broken. Like, can you like help me? And so we would screen share. And I'd like invite him to a repo and GitHub, and he would fix it, and he'd be like, hey, here's like what you did wrong, like here's it fixed. And it would work, and then I'd break it again, and like I would try to fix it. And if I absolutely couldn't fix it, I'd hit Jacob. And so we did that for months and months and months. Just not even about Lost Freight.
Yeah.
Not even about this, just about like random things I was just screwing around with. And then finally, like I was about to launch this tracking thing with Rob for real, and it was fucked. Like everything was broken, nothing was working. And
so Rob wasn't using it yet.
No, he was not using it yet, but I was about to go and demo it to them, like it functioning. Yeah. And it was busted. Like you understand what this means? Like it literally like I arrived. Like there was no chat GPT then, right? So, you know, like the bugs, like I would spend half a day on a bug that was like 2 lines needed to be different.
That's so frustrating.
Oh, dude, it was horrible. And I had so many but I had switched to using Firebase as my backend and my authentication. Sure. And so I joined a Firebase Discord. And was in there, and there was this one dude in there who helped me so much. I think his name was Greg. Shout out Greg.
There's so many people like that.
Dude, he helped me so much. I bought him a coffee on like Buy Me a Coffee. And I was like, dude, like this guy has helped me so much. Anyway, so I finally I was like, Jake, I like this demo's broken. Like, here's what I'm doing. Can you please help me? And so he came in and spent probably a lot of time like helping me, because I had to have it working for this demo I was going to do. And anyway, did it, and then he also got curious, like, what are you doing? Like, what is this? Like, why are you doing this? Like, this is more real than something, clearly this is more real than something, the other stuff that you were doing. Because all my other projects I built were like jokes, no joke. Like I built like a crypto, like used to crash whenever there were conferences. And so I built this like whole tracker for like predicting price crashes around conferences that were coming up.
It's really interesting.
Yeah. So, but it was that sounds really cool. It wasn't that cool. It was like charts.
It was a way for you to learn.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't mean to diminish myself, my illustrious engineering abilities. Anyway, so he was curious. I was like, hey, I'm doing this, like, but I also think like maybe I should be doing something else, but in freight, like I know freight. And he was like, okay, well, like, let's talk about it. So we started talking about it, and we kind of started talking about like capacity and carriers, and like how carriers don't have websites, and how it's impossible to get basic information about them, how it's impossible to find them. So the logo, the pallets on fire, I was watching Castaway, and Tom Hanks was on the island. I was like, bro, all these carriers on these islands, nobody knows where they are. Nobody knows how to find them. Like they're invisible, effectively invisible. Yeah. And it just pissed me off that all these visibility companies were just like, it's all just about tracking. Like, how about just like being visible? You know what I mean? Like, how if people don't know you exist, they don't see you, then like you're invisible. And so I built that as like, this is a signal fire on a fucking desert island. Like, that's literally what I was thinking of. That's why it's pallets on fire.
Yeah. They're lost, but they're trying to be found.
That too. Yeah. So it all like is connected. Yeah. So anyway, we were like, okay, we're gonna build this tool for them to be able to like kind of establish an online presence, like be findable, be visible. But then we got rid of the be visible thing because I just was like, it grossed me out. Like I just didn't like it because everybody is like visibility, like Anyway, so be advised, that's what it should say. Dude, we haven't even gotten to that yet. So he, long story short, he agreed to join me. We agreed on a new direction. The deal with Maca did kind of fizzle because like there was some stuff the customer, whatever. We don't need to get into that too much, but super obviously like it started here and it started with Rob. Like, yeah, it was cool. Like it was fun. And I built I built like a product, quote unquote, and somebody paid me money for it, which was cool. And then, you know, Jake came on, we kind of agreed on a different direction, and we also agreed that he was going to do the code because everything I did was ass backwards. Like, and Jake actually had experience building products. Yeah. He was working at Shopify at the time and had spent like years and years like actually building shit that people use like at scale. So he knew how to run it. He knew how to build shit that people like. He built a solid foundation. Like he understands like the actual like what goes into building a product that works, you know, end to end. And so
when did he come on board?
September.
September of last.
So it's literally not even been a year.
Exactly.
It's not even been a year, which is crazy.
Well, September exactly a year.
Yeah, it was. Oh, it is September.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like middle to end of September.
Okay,
He really started working on it in October. We started working on the new platform.
Yeah.
He was handling the code and I was going to do everything else, and I kind of like helped him. Obviously, he's not a freight guy, so like I had to explain to him exactly like what this is and how it works.
Yeah.
And I had to help him, and it was interesting. Like Silver was just talking about like comboing a freight dude with a engineering dude who doesn't know freight maybe. Yeah. And that's exactly what we did. And so, but I also, you know, from the beginning he was like, dude, like you know freight, I know how to build products, I know how to write code, and I know how to do this well. Like, you need to understand that like the product needs to be we need to say no to everything. Like all the features that you're going to possibly think of, everything you want to do that sounds sick, we're not going to do that. Like we are going to be focused on a very limited scope, like constrain ourselves, which is in hindsight was super good for him to say, because I left to my own devices, I'll just go build all this shit that sounds really cool and it won't make any sense as a product, you know? Because products, literally, you have to be disciplined about these things. And so we ended up working from October, November, December. I flew out, he lives in Denver. I flew out there in December, and we ended up launching it on January 1st. I signed up Lost Freight, right? I signed up my first customer, Prieto, who was a carrier-minded Echo. Okay. Who sent me a truck list.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Like, and he was using, so we basically built this tool that enabled a carrier to house the information on a profile that everyone is looking for that we just talked about. Like their capacity, their truck list, like where their equipment's available, what kind of equipment they have, their preferred lanes, like their operation, how to get in touch with them. Like the component, like everything everybody wants to know about you. Like here's a place for you to store it and here's a place for you to share it. Tools to share it with. Channels through which to share it. So we started with this profile, send a link to your carrier rep, say, hey, instead of calling me to ask me where my trucks are, go to this profile page, great. Started that, launched. I really didn't I didn't know how to market. I don't know how to market still.
This product.
Well, yeah, and I needed to know I needed to market it, clearly. You have to fucking sell it. Like, you need people to know about it. So I started tweeting. I don't think I literally started tweeting about it until January. Like, I had started to kind of get in the mix on Twitter and freight stuff. Like, I don't even know when. Like, couple months before that. But not much more before that. I was on Twitter mostly for crypto. And because, So I ended up, I mean, literally, and I was, dude, when we launched it, I was like, man, I got to write this really dialed in Twitter thread. Like, I'm starting the Twitter account. Like, I spent like a day writing a freaking Twitter thread about the launch, as if anyone was going to give a fuck about it. Like, the stupidest waste of time ever. Like, so dumb. And I think Jake probably said that to me at the time too. He was like, dude, like, nobody's going to read this. And I was like, anyway, I did that. We launched it, and you know, you need to market, and I have no money, so like, how am I going to market? Like, I'm just going to talk shit. Like,
so, great strategy.
Yeah.
It's seemingly working.
Yeah. No. So I, and because that's just what I have always kind of done. Not like pointed, not like with the intention of hurting anybody, but just like trolling, fun. Yeah.
And somehow, through all of it, it's like an actual uplifting.
Yeah. It's fun.
Byproduct of the things.
Yeah. So we, we also started, so Jake and I were talking, we built the whole thing talking in Discord. So we started this Discord channel, and I was like, well, in taking from crypto, where Discord was like a huge thing, and every project had its own, Discord. Yeah. And so I was in a bunch of those. So I was like familiar with Discord, and I'd also used it to play League of Legends with my friends years before. And
you've been helped on Discord so much by that one guy who bought him a coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was using it, and I was like, maybe we'll invite our customers, maybe we'll, maybe that's how we'll use it. But very quickly never did that, and just started inviting people off Twitter, and it was just kind of like, hey, join. Like, I think the first person ever joined like in December, and it's Adam Eldorado is his tag in Discord, and Adam Battenfield. He owns his own brokerage. He's also built his own TMS himself. He's been in some of the Tech Pro talks. You should look at it. It's sick. It's cool. He's
that's the Freight Broker AI? Freightbroker.ai?
Yes. Yeah. He's you guys should have him on the fucking podcast, because he'd probably tell a whole story about it, like just like this. Anyway, so I started inviting all these people to the Discord. That was cool. Casual conversation occasionally, and just over time, just kept inviting people.
But that's one of the things you're really good at. Like when I first met Paul, and he told me about you, like more so than us booking right back in the day. It's like, dude, he's amazing at building a community online and being creative. Like those are your superpowers, from what I can tell. It's just spending one day with you.
Yeah.
Like you're witty, you're quick, you're fun.
Networking, meeting people, like that community aspect, like.
I agree. I guess, so anyway, I've started inviting people, and that was cool. We just started, we were chopping it up on Twitter and trying to get more freight people on Twitter, just like meeting people, engaging, shit posting, and calling carriers, trying to sell the product.
And so you're here now?
Yeah.
And where are you trying to go? I know it's Lost Freight.
Dude,
but
I like, it's still so, there's a lot going on. It's like, we've got like the Lost Freight itself, like the software product I think is insanely promising. Like it's really fucking hard to sell software to carriers. It's really hard. Yeah. But we've got a very loyal and stable initial base of customers who use it every day, love it.
They use it every day.
Yeah, they use it every day. They love it. They speak highly of it.
Videos of them talking about it.
Well, I need to do. There's a bunch of like the moral of the story through all this, for all the things I'm doing, is like, I should be doing this 100%.
Yeah, there's so many projects here.
I literally there's so much I need to be doing that I just physically can't do it all myself.
Does that stress you out?
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. But like, I, for better or for worse, have not really raised any money, and have just. And clearly, I need to make money. Like, literally, dude, I'm running on like if people like even knew, like how close to like the edge I am, it's like crazy, man. Like no sensible person would ever do this.
Yeah,
like it's crazy. So
you're like on that line. I need to fucking figure it out.
Yeah,
real quick.
Yeah. That's where I am now.
It's kind of super similar to Paul's story too, and shoot, man, however we can help.
Reed, just so you know, like for long, you're not the only one. Many farmer friends that I know. For me, myself personally, like especially my last company, negative bank account balances, were like a normal thing.
Totally.
And it's just like, all right, well, how am I going to figure this out?
Yeah.
But everything that you put in, all effort, energy, money, resources, everything is into the business.
Totally. Yeah.
So I have mad respect for that.
Yeah, all in, baby. Yeah. No, that's how it is, and it's fun. It's really fun. But like.
You're close as hell. You feel it too.
Yeah. We're like, it's good. It's been like a lot. I feel like
there's an
analogy. It's like we've built a lot of kind of like we're spooling like it's like things are like winding up, and like soon it's gonna be like, poof, you know. So yeah, there's a lot of good shit going on, you know. So
good stuff. Exciting.
If someone has super excited listening to this,
dude,
and would just like to donate it to me, no strings attached.
Well, there's these hats.
You can, so yeah.
Tell us about the hats.
Yeah, so we started.
You should start charging a lot more for the hats. Just be like,
dude, I probably could.
Exclusive club,
$420. Should I just get rid of the discount? It's 90% discount from $426. Yeah. So I'll tell this one really fast. So when ChatGPT came out, that kind of blew up. Also, like for years, all these freight companies have been saying they're fucking AI machine learning. I'm like, you guys are full of shit. Like, this is bullshit. Like,
I love that you're out there because you're the type of person that's actually gonna say it.
So I was like, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, this is actually pretty cool. This ChatGPT thing is cool. Like, what is a useful implementation of this for freight? And I was like, well, like, what about like excuses for being late to an appointment?
That's so
like,
spot on.
So I literally So there's this company called BuildSpace. Have you heard of BuildSpace? Yeah, they're cool, and they had all these tutorials, and one of them was like building a chat app using the OpenAI API. I was like, I'm gonna do this. So
I remember when you launched this. This is the first.
Yeah. So I was also interested in trying to make shit go viral. I'm interested in like, you know, how shit grows and whatever. Anyway, so I was like, I went through that tutorial like just for fun, like just to learn about it, and was like, hey, like, I don't even remember what it had me build. But I was like, how can I just like I knew how to call the API, and I knew how to, you know, display the result on a web page. And so I literally just wrote a prompt for like, hey, I'm a truck driver, like write me the most insane, stupid story for why I'm late to insert warehouse. Like and so literally just prompt people for a warehouse name, generate an excuse, and like I was like, I'm gonna and then I had like, while I was loading, I had the whole fucking GIF from Braveheart, like instead of a loading spinner. And so I was like, I'm just gonna see if I can make this like pop off. And so I installed like I over-engineered fucking excuse, like how many had been generated. I built a whole fucking back end, like
just for the counter.
Yes. Yeah. Like just absurd, like waste of time. And I think I showed it to Jake, and Jake was like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing?" Like, when he listens to this, I hope he listens to this, and he's probably gonna not lie. He's like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? This is a waste of time."
I'm sure you'll at least learn something along that.
Well, yeah, I learned a lot. It was fun. I was like, "It's fun, dude. This is cool."
I was promoting that on this.
Yeah, I know. And we didn't really know each other that much.
Yeah, we didn't. Like, I started posting, and people were sort of like sending me screenshots. Of
Yeah. So I installed some analytics. We installed the counter, and I put it out there, and I was like, I'm just gonna see if I can make it go viral. And I remember driving, and I used this analytics called SplitBee, which Vercel bought. And so they had this thing where you could have like a webhook into a Telegram channel. So anytime there's a new unique user on, you get a message in this Telegram channel.
Nice.
And I have that set up for Lost Freight, and I set it up for Please Advise, which I called it pleaseadvise.ai. Sure. Which I thought was a funny name for.
Please Advisory? No, it was Please Advise.
No, pleaseadvise.ai was the site,
awesome.
and I was like, I'm gonna call it Please Advise because like, why are you late? And so literally that's where it came from. It's also just a good phrase. So you say it all the time in freight. Yeah. So that's why it's called that. And so I did that and it popped off. And I was driving to California for I can't even remember why. It was in like February when I did this, and I had like hundreds of messages, new user. I was like, this is sick. Like, this is cool as fuck. And I think I had like 400 or 500 people come the first day that I did it. I was like, this is sick. Like, and obviously
I in that community.
Yeah, it was just cool. It was fun. And the only thing, like, normal people would be like, well, you know, you should really be trying to capture their email here. Like, oh, you type in a couple excuses, but if you want to do another one, enter your email. Like, I don't do any of that, for better or for worse. I probably could have gotten some more out of it, but like, it was more just about the vibes and the fun.
Reed, you studied philosophy.
I did.
Can we go into a little bit of like a philosophy debate on some of your thinking on that? Because I think it could actually help you with like the situation you're in. Because like you're so close on so many things, but you're also torn. Like, your superpower is clearly building community, having fun, doing all these things, and like you've got so many projects you could be working on. But you're limited to just you, the X amount of time you have on during your day. Like Paul, I feel like he's been so amazing, like is able to like accomplish so much is because he's very successful at partnering and other people that leveraging other things that people are good at, and gives him some peace, you know, to be able to focus on that thing that he's good at, and like delegating. Delegating.
Buying back your time.
And buying back your time and just meeting with people, partnering with people that are going to be better at sure, I'll organize this. You guys figure out how to do these emails.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yes, right? That's legit the answer to your thing. No, am I wrong?
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. No, you're right.
Yeah. That's what would give you some
you can't start with that. Or at least I can't.
I think that's the thing you have to focus on every moment. That's my argument.
Well, I think, so in the context of that book, because I obviously started reading it as well, I think there is a certain time period in the very beginning, which he doesn't talk about, and I actually don't like this about a lot of business advice books, is that they don't give you the context of when they are giving you that advice and when you should apply it, along which life cycle of the business.
If you go into it deep enough. And I think as soon as you start a business, I think right away you should be focused on where you can be buying back your time. Don't even think about how to grow the business. Once you have a business model, once you have everything that brings value, once you know what you're good at, right away bring on an EA to start outsourcing or buying back time and effort on a lot of these things that you could be.
Dude, I don't disagree with you. But I think this for at least all I can speak about is for me. Like I what's worked and is working for me, I'm actively figuring out.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Like you can't, for better or for worse, am not a big business book kind of guy.
No.
And that's just me. I'm not knocking them.
Yeah.
But I think that there's...
what is a business book? It's just a guy that did a shit ton, succeeded.
Bro, dude,
succeeded in doing this, and then he wrote a book about it.
It's so easy to like try to extract, like say, okay, this worked for me, therefore I'm going to write a book about it, and it's going to work for you. And there's certainly frameworks, and there's certainly ways to do it, but it's like every situation and every person is so freaking different. And like I can't read a book and be like, I'm going to apply this principle. Like I can't do that. Like
you also can't apply that rule where he said, yes, you can buy back your time or like pay for somebody because like he hasn't raised money.
But you can if you partner in other ways, right? If you find creative ways to have someone working with you, if you don't have money.
Well, dude, I will do that. Like I'm not like I guess the stage I'm at now is
all I'm trying to say is like maybe it's worth putting all your focus on what things in my day can I be buying back my time.
I will do that. I will.
I'm sorry if I'm kind of no. I'm just trying to help, and provide some value.
No, I got you. We'll talk more about this. We will. Cool. But anyway, dude, so I started selling these hats. I just wrote it on a piece of paper and taped it to my head.
Sick.
Smart. And literally for months, I had this hat and I would wear it around, and people were like, "What the fuck?" But some people were even like, "Is that like designer?" Because it looked. And I was like, no, but it's bespoke. Like,
it's what?
It's bespoke. It's bespoke. So I wore it to the Mid-American Truck Show in Louisville, and just for fun, like, and I went on What the Truck with Dooner for the first time, wore it there, and people were just like, well, "This is the most absurd." Like, and I remember writing on LinkedIn, I wrote on LinkedIn like, "Hey, like I've made this hat. Like, if I made some, would anyone buy it?" And like nobody fucking answered. Nobody was like, "Oh yeah, I would love to." No, nobody said anything. And anyway, maybe a month went by, and I just kept wearing it. I always would post it, and then I made 12. I called a embroidery shop in Scottsdale. I was like, "Hey, shout out Pinnacle Printing."
Is that the blue one?
Huh?
Is that the blue
one? Yeah, the OG. And I ordered 12 of them, and I called the dude. I was like, "Hey, like, can you just write please advise on a hat?" And I want 12 of those. Like, what's the minimum that I can buy? And he's like 12, and I was like, "Okay, make it the blue one. Fuck it, why not?" And so when I got them, actually no, I made a Stripe link that said like, "Please advise hat."
Yeah.
That's it. No pictures, no nothing, and literally tweeted it out, and was like. And I sold them all in a day in like April. Yeah. And I was like, and Jay, dude, funny. like Jake was like, dude, this is stupid. Like, you're not gonna sell any of these. Like, and I'm like, bro, fucking watch. Like, just watch. Like, and so anyway, so and Jake has since kind of realized that I just go do whatever. Like, we'll figure it out. But anyway, so I sold 12 like in a day, which was crazy. That was cool. I got them made, sent them out, and I've just like kept ordering more and kept selling more. And Jake used to work at Shopify, so we set up a Shopify store. I ordered a printer, like a label printer, and so I ship them all myself. And everyone's like, well, why don't you drop ship them? Like, you probably said that to me before. That's just not fucking me, dude.
I didn't say drop ship. I told you to use like teespring.com.
Yeah. I like, of course, that's easier.
Yeah.
But like, I just liked writing the notes in them and boxing them and taking them to the fucking post office, and like, it's fun, you know. Yeah. And so I would, because you make content about that, and it like lends itself to the whole movement.
It's real.
It's real.
Like, and that's like if you had like we're using Teespring or some dropshipping kind of service, like people wouldn't have that. Like, people love the authenticity and like the fact that you're just being yourself.
Yeah.
And that's why they want to buy the product and support it. So
they're bought into the vibe.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I don't know how many I've sold. I started. Well, I sold the 12, and I called myself a 3-figure e-commerce founder.
Which is great.
It's pretty funny. And I remember when I first tweeted that, I did like a fake, because there's so many like e-com boys on Twitter that like are, here's this 10 secret, 1 of 10 thread, like 10 secrets to building your e-commerce empire. Yeah. And so I did a tweet like that, and I was like, this is advice from a 3-figure e-commerce founder, trying to make it look real. And then the next one was like, just fuck around, like that's the secret. And anyway, it worked. And I remember I had a guy who's like, 3-figure is in like $999 max. And I was like, yes. Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah. Anyway, I think I've sold like 300 something now.
There's like more than 5 states that have 20 each now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think So, and I started putting out this map. Like, I just export out of Shopify. Actually, no, I don't even export out of Shopify. I literally have a Python program where I type in each city. It's like it's a fucking, I think they call them lists in Python. It's not an array, but and it's like whatever 300 lines long in this file. It's not even like, that's literally what I do. And a couple times a week or once a week, I'll just go in, I'll look at all the new orders, and I'll just type the city names in, and I run like my Python environment's fucked up, so I have to run 3.9. So I run the script. And
how many times did you have to reinstall your Mac for that?
Dude, don't even get me started. That shit's fucked up. Like, maybe you can help me with this. Anyway,
I helped you with the partition.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, maybe you can help me.
I freed.
I was out of space in my computer. Yeah.
Out of space jail.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever. We don't have to get into that. He helped me. But yeah. So sold all those hats. So we have the hats. We got this Discord. We're doing events in the Discord now. We started with Freight Therapy which is a Twitter space that we do on Thursdays. I don't even know when we started doing that. It was like at the beginning of the summer, and it feels like a long time ago. But so we just started with that for fun, like one day randomly. Like, I just literally was like, hey, I'm gonna do a Twitter space. It didn't really even announce anything. Like, didn't market it. Like, just was like, hey, like, here's what we're doing, and that's been kind of a thing, and that's been cool. And we recently started doing events in the Discord weekly. We started that Tech Pursuits. We started in July, at the end of July. No joke. Like, that's not that long ago.
2 months ago.
Yeah.
It feels like.
Yeah, it feels like forever ago. And so we started. Yeah, we started doing that. We started fucking events. So we got, Lost Freight software, super good in its own right, can stand on its own product, own business. We've got the fucking Discord, can be legitimately its own business. We've got, the hats. I think I could literally meme a fucking clothing brand for freight people into existence. Like, that could be its own thing. Like,
if you had to put all your chips in one basket.
I can't do that. I'm not an all chips in one basket kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Let's say you had to.
If I had
for the purpose of making one of them work.
I mean, I think that Lost Freight has the most. The ceiling is the highest for software, obviously.
Yeah.
So if I had to pick one, like gun to my head, I'm sticking with this one. Of course, it's the thing we've poured everything into. We've got a legit product, fucking great. Like, if you're a carrier listening, like, fucking hit me up. brokers to hit me up. I get more inbound from brokers than I do from carriers, which is aggravating, but it is what it is. Anyway, yeah, that. But like, I think ultimately what I'm trying to do long term is like, I have all these. I don't like saying I have an audience, but I kind of do, and it's just like kind of sounds gross to me, but like, I do. And we've got this captive community, and they're all bought in to the vibes, and it's sick, and like. There's going to be a huge opportunity for if we talk about funnels, like I'm not a marketing guy, but like I guess I am. I don't. You are now. But I mean, it's like all the Twitter and the bullshit shit posting, and then you've got the community, and then at the bottom of that is like fucking hats or Lost Freight or any other product that I can build or any of my friends can build. I can put that there. I can put your guys' shit there. I can put whatever. It's all right there. And I would prefer to be long term, like. Focused on running around and doing all this stuff up here, and then just be lending to companies that I'm like involved with, or company like products that I'm able to start and use the tech bros to help build. Like we can close the loop ourselves. I don't want to raise money. Like I don't want anyone else's money. If people want to give me money,
no strings.
I'm not a slide deck guy. Yeah. Like I'm not a TAM guy. You know what I mean? I fucking hate TAM. Like it's like total addressable market. It's like all the shit you have to do to raise money. Like I just don't like doing that.
Respect.
and that's not a knock on that process. It's just not for me. You know,
I don't think it's for. Well, maybe it's for some people. I don't think it's for most people, for most founders. But you basically just got to do it sometimes.
You totally do. You totally do sometimes. But yeah. So anyway, I don't know.
That's what's up.
We kind of.
So you're not so lost after all, brother.
He's finding himself.
Yeah, I'm slowly. We're figuring it out. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Yeah.
I mean, it's an amazing story, and like seeing you right
now. We're fucking writing it. We're literally
being so close to that edge, and then seeing you like where it's gonna be.
So when you find product market fit, maybe you did already. I don't know. But when you find product market fit, are you going to change the company name from Lost Freight to Found Freight?
Fuck no, dude. No. That would make too much sense.
That would make too much sense, yeah.
I'm not, no. So, no, that's good. No, I'm really stoked. We got a lot of good shit in the works with Lost Freight. There's so much there. Like, I need to hire people. Like, perfect world, I've already hired people. Like, we're going to figure out how to do that. We're going to get people involved to
Sorry for pushing that.
No. I need to do that. I have to do that. I need. This whole process for the last year and a half has been, really forever has been like recognizing what you're good at. And once you recognize and you're honest with yourself about what you're good at, and you lean into your strengths, like quit worrying about your weaknesses. Find people who supplement your weaknesses. Because really, at the end of the day, you cannot do everything. Like you can't do everything.
Amen to that,
you can't.
That's how you figure it out. That's how you do it. It's like what tribes are about. It's what humans are about.
Yeah.
It's fucking tribes.
Yeah. So it's like the specialization versus the shit we were talking about earlier. It's like find people, put yourself around people who are better than you at the things you're not good at. Don't worry about them at all. Don't beat yourself up for not being good at XYZ. If you're world class, if you're fucking, I think people on Twitter say, you're like, I'm a 10x engineer. Like, if you're a 10x fucking marketer or like a vibe curator or whatever the fuck, like, go do that and find somebody who's like Jake, fucking 10x tech dude, 100x, 1000x tech dude, right? Like,
shout out Jake.
Yeah, shout out Jake's kid. I don't know what, dude, hopefully his kid's born now. I don't know. I've never heard from him. Shout out kids, his daughter. I
don't know. I definitely have heard a lot of advice also being like that sometimes founders hire too many people too early before they even have product market fit or they know that what they're building is going to be a business. Right? And so like that's where I find myself trying to make sure we find that balance in terms of like, okay, delegate this and like
we could do a whole podcast about this.
You literally, this could be.
I would love to do that. A whole show. That's actually what I'm super into right now, and what I think I'm trying to build. So if we could do one with me one day, that'd be fucking sick.
Only if I can do the intro.
Cool. Please.
All right.
You guys down to get some food?
Yeah, let's wrap it. How long have we been going?
2 hours.
Oh my god. Dude. And we literally.
No one's gonna listen to this whole thing.
Thank you guys. For whoever stayed to the end. Respect. Yo, but even if 3 people watch it, like those people are our boys now. You know?
Do not edit this part out right here.
It's not going to.
Legit.
Yeah. If you actually listen to this whole podcast, email me pbj@freightcaviar.com.
I will send you.
Write me that you listen to this whole podcast.
Hold on, don't pause it yet. If finish your offer. Yeah, I have an offer too.
Email me.
Email in the subject that I watched this episode to the end, and I'll actually read the email.
And I'll send you some Freight Caviar stuff.
Yeah,
and actually write to me your 5. No, actually that's too long because they can just skim all the way to that. You know,
Go to the end. It should be a keyword. A keyword like a passcode in the subject line. If you write,
you're the marketer.
If you write "please advise" in the subject line, email and CC both of us. He'll send you Freight Caviar shit, and I'll send you a hat for free. Ooh. The first 10 people, I can't give away that many hats.
Yeah,
I need big money.
Solid.
How about that?
Please
10 people.
Email is pbj@freightcaviar.com and
Reed at LOSTFR8.
And if you really want to support Reed, then actually pay for the hat.
You could just do that. That's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, sick. Great.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for tuning in to the Daily Freight Caviar Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, or if you didn't, leave a review. Let me know what you think. I appreciate any feedback. If you'd like to have more Freight Caviar content, go to freightcaviar.com and subscribe to my email newsletter.